Hey everyone, my name's AJ Picard, and I want to take the time to review a app called Toggl. I came across Toggl when Reddit's founder tweeted about it and talked about how easy it is to really track your time and whatever you're doing. Um, Past 3 years, I've kind of been on my own, doing my own thing, building my own startup, building my own company, doing my own YouTube stuff. And being a one man show, you tend to obviously wear different hats. And with that, trying to build a startup, try to build your own brand and company as well. There are a lot of things that are picking your attention, are drawing for your attention. So for me, I wanted to see how much time or what's pulling most of my time throughout the week, and more importantly, I wanted to see how much I was working that week. Just because I love seeing how efficient I am being with working and the amount of hours I'm putting in, and if there's any way I can make my workflow more efficient. And the reason why is because and I'm doing that, and that's why you kind of see me not jumping around, but exploring a ton of productivity apps, or just exploring like apps that can really just help me stay organized and help me continue to build my brand. So into Toggl, what I love about Toggl is, one, it's the easiest freaking thing to use in the world, and two, it's free. uh, and what I've done is, I have to go to my dash. Unfortunately, the bad thing about the app is that you can't really edit any of the companies or the tags that you add, and I'll get into that in a second. So I wish they added that feature instead of having to go to your dashboard on the browser every time to edit stuff, and I'll show you an example of that, of an error that I had to edit. But real quick, just to explain Toggl in general, we have the top section here that is pretty much saying like, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is the project it's for. This is some tags if I have any, and yeah, I think you can add how much money you're making, or hourly charge. I'm not actually sure what that is yet, but let me just go ahead and cancel this. Yeah, I'd have to actually, I'm gonna look into kind of what that cash symbol is for. Oh, non-billable. Oh, it's non-billable. Okay, cool. So you can add a setting. I'm almost positive. Um, um, no, I lied. You can add that. You can change that option in the browser. Um, but anyway, let me go back to the simple stuff. So you just pretty much add the task you're doing, the project you want it to log the time under, and a tag if you want it. Whether it's maybe you're designing, maybe you're creating, maybe you're doing whatever. In this case, I'm creating. Okay, so maybe I just want to add a cool tag, so it adds a tag. And then the timer starts, and if I want to stop the timer, I can, right? I just click this, and it stops. And what it'll do is it'll find YouTube, and it'll pretty much add it. It'll add the latest change above your last ended track, right? So in this case, it added above, tracking my last type of task, which was creating YouTube videos, and that's what I'm doing right now. So if I click that, I didn't add anything to this, but yeah, it added on top of it. If I want to just resume, I can just click play and it'll resume. I can also click this and change things. I can change the project. I have a ton of projects. I can change the duration if I feel like I added the timer at a different time, or I can just change the start time. Maybe I started this at 1:30 a.m. instead of 1:54 a.m. And I can also delete it. But Toggl also shows you, and like, look, this is Toggl showing you like what I've done today, right? And then what I did yesterday, and then what I did Saturday, what I did Tuesday, Monday. There's not much here because I was on vacation, but like, if we were to expand this, you can see like it's just tracking everything, right? That I want to record. And then the best thing about this, honestly, is that it syncs on all devices. So there's a mobile app as well. So if I were to leave my computer and I'm like, crap, I forgot to stop the timer for creating YouTube, because I don't want to be, not getting the time being accounted for if I'm not actually working. So, if I were to leave the house now and go get something to eat, and I forgot to, close this YouTube thing, I could always close it when I get back, and then when I close it, change the end time, which is great. Or I could just go to the app, and I'm gonna pull up my OBS so that I can see the quality here. It's really good quality. So if you can see, this is the mobile app version, and at the bottom, oh, it's kind of hard. At the bottom here, you're gonna see that it's tracking my current task, and all my tasks are on here, right? So that makes it easier to make sure that you're on top of things with Toggl, right? So I could just end this here, and when I end it, it ends here on the desktop as well, which I find very, very cool and helpful. So that was pretty much my main issue. How am I gonna continue to make sure that I'm keeping track of my time accurately, right? So being able to access this app on cross platforms is huge, because that it allows you to access the app and your timer at any time wherever you're at, which I think is very important. The next best thing that Toggl does, two features that I think, actually three features that I think are completely unreal and elite, are one, if I don't have a timer running, right, and Toggl is open on my computer, right, it's gonna send me a notification like, hey, what are you working on? And it reminds you to add a timer, right? Like, start tracking. Actually, I don't even think you need the app open. It'll actually send you a tracker notification within 3 or 4 minutes of using your computer. Next, it also tracks if your mouse is moving. So if my mouse doesn't move and I actually go to sleep, maybe not go to sleep, maybe I step away from the computer for like 3 or 4 minutes and my computer is still up, it actually, when I come back and I move my mouse again, there will be a pop-up window that comes up that says, hey, we saw that there was some idle time. Did you want to count this idle time, or did you want to like the tracker, or did you want to just delete it and continue working? And so what that does is, hey, if I'm like on the phone or something, for 15 minutes, I can say, hey, Toggl, don't count that 15 minutes into creating content for YouTube. What I want you to do is, instead, I can create a meeting time frame, if for instance, I'll give you an example. So I'm creating this YouTube here, and I jump on a call for 15 minutes. I forgot to hit Toggl off, and so when I come back, it asks me, do I want to delete that idle time and not let it account to the YouTube tracker? I'm going to say yes, and when I do that, YouTube's going to stop. Okay, so it's going to be like this, right? And what I can then do is just do meeting, and I can click pause, right? And I can click end. And then when I go into the meeting, I can choose, oh, well, actually, it was from 1:45 to 2 a.m., right? And it was for Kava, and we talked about accounting. Okay, and then it logs it here, and then what I can then do is just resume back my YouTube and go back to what I was doing, but I don't lose, it will add it in between things for you, and you can individually add things throughout your day that you might have forgotten. So I'm going to delete this. And then before I delete this, actually, what I wanted to talk about is just the error part. So you're going to see, if I click this option and I go down to this client, it's not a client, it's a workspace essentially, but I put in 2 L's for Clava, it should be 1, and I can't edit it, right? And that's the only downfall about the app. You actually have to go to the browser to edit it. Clava and Sauce, Clava is to start up and running, and Sauce Designs is a design development studio I run, just so you guys know. But this is pretty much what Toggl has to offer. They have a list view, and then they have a timeline view, which is kind of cool. I don't use it that much, but it kind of just shows you hey, this is what you're working on throughout the day, which is kind of cool. And I think you can, so let me go to Sunday. So it shows you your gaps throughout the day, that you didn't really work. So this could be useful for people, but I don't really use it that much. So yeah, that's pretty much everything Toggl has to offer, and I highly suggest using it. One, because it's free, it's easy to use, it's actually kind of beautiful looking, and they seem to be making some really good moves. They just rebranded, they just launched a whole new design for their product and app, and I'm really excited to continue to use this product and see what has to come. I also forgot one more feature that they have, and that is, let me pull up my email here. And if I were to, it's gonna load, yeah, real quick. Let me quit this and let Spark open. And so I'll go to the inbox, and what I'll do is toggle. So Toggl Track. So in the beginning, so I'll get one tomorrow, but they'll send me a tracking report. So when I click this, it'll literally tell me how long I worked last week. So last week I worked 55 hours, and then I put 20 hours into Clava. I put 16 hours into learning by myself, and then I put 20 hours into my development studio. So this is kind of like some really cool stuff like that I like seeing and looking at. I don't know about you guys, but I personally do. And yeah, I just highly suggest doing this, man. I think it's good to track your progress and to see how efficient you are becoming. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' thoughts on this. Please comment below what you guys think. I want you guys to also comment below the apps you use the most throughout your day that aren't social media apps. So if you guys could do that, it'd be great. Subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you gotta do. Those things keep me making these videos, and I will definitely see you in the next app review video. Thanks, guys.